Obahi bebre ano poku are no mawa no asante kotoko no no so ne ebedi akwa aboaboa ho etio ne to na sakra aboa nkwa ye de etiri beto ho asem ne frititio efrititio man
ene so na mutumi so eno adu sake mo eyo pe na ye ho na sade be hiem bi o se ba akofo ye mo ba inshan kan di ni said that Jesus Christ share no kwan no omne dru ha maye no akra ye wa hye so sade be dru asudwie mu no ye free insani akwanhye bia mu eja dwumade nyina hye won sa emi se odi ne wani mu kan ya enkunimdie ni awofrede ye omadea boy nemra ye be hye ase be die ne mu kan ebie wie enkunimdie ayemfo wasedendi yada wasese wodi hene o Yesu Kristo di mu adomniti amen.
Amen. Yemo yesem efa yema Ibrahima no. Ne mpa bo hwehwam. Abusia ya hye adwumadi na se ano no. Na sade etie no ye nche ewo ha. Adwumadi no ebe ye etietie mu. Na nananom agye wona konwa na asukufo atichafo so ewo ha de. Na adwumadi no ya mekwa na bebedie. Nemum abafo bi ewo ha enti menuaba fozua ewo Alandu Media obey na yefa esabokese emfa emma ayi
alana na odudu na soso ya Alandu Media
very good yebeto so na empenfo ahodo na ewo ha yebeyi wonum akire nemum was so what the entire ha and son adwumadi no ne fa eka ho so no ye de akodro enti afozua ye be frɛ ye president
na say ye beto sa e de afrɛ insuraba asante
na o bo self or a
cra and ye president and I am so far that and I know that society foundation o me fancy
you can do better
so when the body now over castles there's the ojo for your home on the apple
yes
so free one casa
what's that be
then it is for catcher
sir what are the boss from Hot FM Accra and our German and our bomber tikwa me call Angel masabe to amo asante ha
former colleague
oh okay
it's me the na dem wa ni aba bedru ha sana na de na egbo ni mu no no wo kan e fa na say ya abro me did mo so ya for man true no impact for so mata de fe mo munyi mun sami
sir na omo hwe omo boss sir we yeah no impact remember what happened peja osana boom
di insuraba no sana wo fo amfam to ne kwa ampa waba be yinshira e de ama empempem bebre ti ye na ama no na ne di nti e wo ha o mo ne tofa enfamai insuraba me da masi be
the couple was someone sana wa share the kasa ya masi the boss of the France yes
NISG Foundation. NISG Foundation. Nanano, Madam Chairperson, made a mess for now, Maputo Kakra, Madam Bebu. Madam Chairperson, the Health Director, Director of Gender, Director of Children's Ministry, the Social Welfare Representatives, Nanano, colleague journalists, invited schools, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon to you all. Noble Impact Society Ghana Foundation was established in 2019 to give financial support to vulnerable children living with congenital anomalies. The foundation was also established to give quality health care to Ghanaians in deprived communities. Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, our vision conforms with the World Health Organization's goal in ensuring quality and accessible health care for all. It is estimated that about 6% of babies worldwide are born with congenital disorder, resulting in hundreds of thousands of associated deaths. However, the number of cases may be much higher because statistics do not often consider terminated pregnancies and stillbirth. Madam Chairperson, the above mentioned phenomenon could be result to lack of money, which vulnerable parents is burdened with in accessing quality health care. To these vulnerable parents, staying home and dying with their medical conditions is mostly the best option, since the cost of medication and going for surgery by way of treatment in Ghana is very high. The unfortunate situation and may others are the reasons Noble Impact Society Ghana Foundation exists, and its vision is to solicit for funds to support people living with congenital anomalies, especially children. Madam Chairperson, Nananom, ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this year's forum is supporting children with congenital anomalies, the role of every Ghanaian. Madam Chairperson, we are here to inform and educate everyone that congenital anomalies can be identified before birth and during birth. Again, we are educating Ghanaians that medically the deformity can be natural or accidental, and we all have to share responsibilities to support such children in our society and help educate and help eradicate stigma associated with people living in this condition, since it can affect everyone. I mean, we all stand the chances of becoming victims one day. Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot end my speech without touching on our achievements. The Noble Impact Society Ghana Foundation has, over the years, assisted over 30 children living with congenital anomalies to undergo surgery in Ghana for free. You can clap for us if you want to. In addition to that, we organized free healthcare screening and gave out medication for free to residents of Pokuase and its environs in the Ahafano Southeast District of the Ashanti region, of which 900 people benefited last year. We also donated clothes, shoes, and food items to schools, children in the said district, from which about 700 school children also benefited. Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, we have also allocated 30,000 Ghana cedis to be presented to 10 patients today to help them pay their medical bills. Noble Impact Society Ghana Foundation, by the end of this month, will register 500 children from age 0 to 13 onto the National Health Insurance Scheme, and subsequently be given the NHIS card. This beneficiary in the Ahafano Southeast District will from now be accessing affordable health care with their NHIS card. Additionally, the Health Directorate has charged the Assembly members to do mapping for us to come and further assist these people with our widow's mites. So we will start as soon as the mapping is done. Madam Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, We believe this will help save lives and move our country further forward. Thank you very much for your attention. I therefore welcome you all to this year's Pregnancy and Childbirth Forum. Long live Ghana, long live Noble Impact Society Ghana Foundation. NISG is here to stay. Thank you very much. Chairman and so Titania and then Jumedi what's not a committee of Mayano. What did not know this etuja a day and my and unti Yan Semren, Yan Tonsa and Fanfre, chairperson of the program. The Dr. Abdulma now on fire. And then for one I did on fire. This is what you in Shaba air come once summer. And no, Pesa or Banu and Chim, Brofono, Wapota, the Amayan, name of this Dr. Ba, Obitrim, not mere Mentia Sian, Matia Sia A. It's the way Thank you very much. Nananom VIPs, dignitaries here, and then our future leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. I'm very happy to be the chairperson for this event today because we are here to discuss a very important issue. As I speak to you now, I have a child on the ward in my hospital, the pediatrics ward. Pediatrics is where we take care of little children. I am a senior specialist pediatrician, so that means that I take care of little children only. I don't take care of adults, only little children. So currently, as I speak to you, I have a child on admission on the ward who has congenital abnormalities. What this child has is what we call Edwards syndrome. The baby is small. She has a bulging occiput, that's Netiko Ewa. And then she also has heart problems. She also has kidney problems, and she will not survive beyond the first month of life. That is how serious congenital abnormalities can be. So one would ask, what are congenital abnormalities? These are normally structural or functional abnormalities that occur when the baby is in the womb. So if you are born and after you are born, maybe your eyes become yellow and so that is not a congenital abnormality. And forgive me, Nananom, if I'm mixing the dialects. So that is not a congenital abnormality. A congenital abnormality means something happened as you were in your mother's womb. So when you were born, you had that problem. WHO says that around 240,000 newborns worldwide die of congenital abnormalities every year. 240,000 newborns die of congenital abnormalities every year. In the US, they have data, and they have about 3 to 4% of deliveries having congenital abnormalities. But in our part of the world, in Africa, in Ghana, we don't know the data that we have. Why? Because if you are a mother never be a hospital, if you are a mother never be a hospital, not what we say we are a plan or problem. Into se mame konabra na yenhwe obano. Obekacho say yare we di ibini mi fi, mi kunu fi enso ibini ho. So when they are going home, they kill the child on the way. When I was in my former institution, I was in the Brahafu region then. Hapebi eba me ho, a Pentecost elder. Oba me ho say nebana wa wona na oda ward no. Aklana or congenital abnormality be and only a friend of amniotic bands. And you know, as the baby is in the womb, certain limbs have been amputated. It's a war no not ninsana bakwetra.
and another 9 so back tra. Beautiful little baby girl, very sweet baby. Papa no babe catch me say, akolane de onye nipa intimi nkunim free ho. This is what they do to babies who have congenital abnormalities. So getting data for us to know how many kids are born with congenital abnormalities in our country is not easy. It's difficult because many times infanticide, they kill them. When I was in Agogo, that was many years back, I wasn't even the serious kind. Also, if more hard, they have an extra digit in Sabakutia. If you cry it in a tree free home. In Takulane Bay, not all extra digits. Papa is saying, or ye this year, he's a royal. And when to the side way, don't mean fam kunifi, and when to know ombeku akulana ewo kwaimo. This is what happens to babies with congenital abnormalities. Let's take a quick look at some of the causes of congenital abnormalities. It's more common in our environment because of a number of things, and I'll talk about those things in a few minutes. So we can have chromosomal or genetic disorders. For those of you who are science students, you will know that there will be a difference, but let me just put them together as genetic. So chromosomal or genetic. Now, before you are born, when your father's sperm fertilizes your mother's eggs, he brings some genetic information in the sperm, and your mother also gives genetic information in the egg. And Nuntina yetimika say, Abranti, mami bisa opacho, ose hwai, opapa na umami. Abranti, ose opapa na umami. Ose opapa. Enti okala no so se hwai, papa na na mami. Papa na, tuwa fa umami huri. We sisi mami. Alright, so that is why when you are born, you take genetic information from your father and then some from your mother. So onono ne kala no ene ne height no or say offer free papa no. Sometimes you may have people who take certain information from their father. Ebia or ye koko, offer papa koko, and then offer or mami tinti. So you take genetic information. Now, sometimes there may be a problem with that genetic information. Now, let me give you an example that is easy to understand. If I say I've catch your architect, we say onsi dain be a mai into a drawing. But a diner now open, now open skyscraper now 4 stories to say the team. But design now architect ne draw no a atakwame dain. At the end, no, even though what you wanted was a story building. Why? Because a diagram na architect na that is what the builders used and then followed and then gave the building. The same thing with the genetic information. So the genetic information is what is determining that's the genetic information. Now sometimes there can be a mistake in the genetic information. So you may have common ones like chromosomal abnormalities like Down syndrome. Normally children who have Down syndrome, more characteristic features, around, to say China 4D. Those are features of genetic Down syndrome. And normally, on say no markings no dorsal, but no back in a BM. Then you can know that this one is likely to be Down syndrome. So that's a congenital abnormality that came from a problem with the chromosomes. Then sometimes you can also have gene abnormalities. I'll just mention one of them because of where we are having this program. There's this family who I take care of, and the boys are ill and the girl is well. Mama say boys no omunyini do be 10 11 afi omunanti ano mo titito. Omunanti ano mo titito. Afi no mabubu, no maka wheelchair mu, na afi they die. So she said that duabo no mun nana bi ekoria gold eni ebo ni dua. But then when we did our research, we knew that no, this is Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. It affects only boys. So the girl will be fine and the girl is fine. But all the boys are affected. So the woman has 2 boys. The first one is he's not ambulant, so it's Nancy. The second one has started falling down. And then there's a girl. So the girl as well, because it's a single gene abnormality and it affects only boys. But Mamina Sao, and then she gave birth to another boy. So we know that's what is going to happen. The same thing is going to happen. Duchenne's muscular dystrophy, normally by 20 years, they'll be dead. all of them, they will die. So that is why they were thinking, say, all the males in the family. But you and I know that it is a genetic abnormality. Why did I mention this? I mentioned this because our society also does not help children who have congenital abnormalities. Saplano or Dushin say, Obedia ba meeting baby, Obedia for 4 floors aba member because the building doesn't have a lift or a disability ramp obitimi ediafro. So member. So you are future leaders. So when you are planning, when you are thinking for the nation, always remember children who have congenital abnormalities. Sometimes we have conditions in pregnancy that can also cause these congenital abnormalities. One is maternal age. Some oban when you do more than 35 years and many times they have children who have the Down syndrome. If the woman has an illness like diabetes, utiminya akola obenya heart problem. If the woman drinks alcohol during the pregnancy, it's a problem be a friend fetal alcohol syndrome. Inti mu maame no mu nuanom enyem no mo te ho no mensa. Muntu omo fo se omo say omo ba no dachi. I had a woman on admission recently, very beautiful woman, about maybe 30-year-old woman. Yes, you timi bodagata muina. And she came and delivered a premature baby at a time, and so tiny little baby. But thanks be to God, this baby had not had any of the features of the fetal alcohol syndrome. Then sometimes drugs that the mothers take can also cause these abnormalities, like thalidomide and then pollutants. So, advise your friends. So, doctor and car send no medruna, let me tell you about thalidomide. Who was born in the 1970s? All right, it's good. So nobody was born in the 1970s. In the 1970s, there was this drug. It was called thalidomide. Now, mothers enyema near the mom said omon fifi bibre. Gonso mama enyem no fe untimi didi. Into nom this drug thalidomide emma mothers no. Unfortunately, no munye enough research on thalidomide and some emma mothers. Into mothers wo mano in kolana na bebre wo Amelia. Amelia yedin ombiyebe wo no monsa eni o nine ho bebre beba no mo ye torso ni peduano eni niti na ni feet no etetare ne ha ne sre namba ne nsase yamba, all because of sad drug thalidomide. That's why we say that when you're mad, don't take just any medication. Just say drugs are yediama or hospital. Pollutants and so another issue. And why am I mentioning pollutants? Galamsey. We release a lot of pollutants into the environment with galamsey, and some of these affect babies in the womb and then cause problems with their brain and then problems with their development. And then the last point will be a combination of the genes. Sometimes we will be not omohano apai. And it's me very easily. Yeah, not ya repair momo, cleft slip and then palate. And then some of the causes are also unknown. So it's important that you know about congenital abnormalities, what causes them, so that we can know what to do about children who have them and then how to prevent them. And when Mr. Inshiraba was talking, he talked about how he is giving a lot of support, his foundation, to children who have congenital abnormalities. And it's very important because many of these children, their parents do not have enough money to seek the kind of health care they need. For instance, a player or amniotic bands and in sanitary shadow, he or she may need artificial leg. Mamini nisika or the bekwakope, they never plan, or beka them, onko school. All right, but if there was enough resources, NGOs like Inshiraba's NGO, then these children are able to go to school and they're able to reach their full potential. Ube who very brilliant child, but waka them all because of congenital abnormality. The parents any sika. Some time ago, there were these children by the roadside, and Reverend Dafu and their team have been able to remove a lot of them. If you want to want to grow in your moto, your friend am rectal malformation, to grow in your moto. Into ana surgeons nature to grow said they be on the bag it's ya, said they be a toilet no, a befa bag na yaye, na a tray or makoyo moto no amomo. There were many children walking around. There was one child in not Tepa, Mankran, so that area. The child was there for 8 years. defecating through this bag, all because parents need sika say baba be surgery na ayane to na mano. 8 years girl ko toilet e go rubber bag. But that is where we are. So medical support is very important. Social support is very important. There's a lot of stigma for children who have congenital abnormalities and even parents of children who have congenital abnormalities. You all know, say, sometimes one reason or the other, because mom so then they are not even able to do anything to support the children. So the social support is very important. And then having a proper social welfare system to support these children, because they need a lot in terms of medical assistance, in terms of occupational therapy, in terms of physiotherapy, the prosthetic devices and everything. So it's very important that we know about congenital abnormalities, how to prevent them, and then how to help children who have congenital abnormalities. I'm rounding up. How do we prevent congenital abnormalities? A number of things. One of them is vaccinations, right? There's one illness that we call rubella. It's German measles. It's not the regular measles in Tobru. This one is called German measles. German measles say, big deal. Big deal. But within the first 3 months, your baby will be born with cataract, eye problem. The baby will be deaf, the head will be small, and the baby will have a heart problem. All because of SARS infection. In the developed countries, every child is given the rubella injection at birth so that the children don't get exposed to it later in lifetime congenital abnormalities. Another thing is antenatal attendance. Antenatal attendance is very important. Because mothers need to bring your ma first trimester, first 4 months, hospital because obidi any one bano and I say na say and weighing antenatal card but it's within this first trimester, first 3 months, that is the time that the baby is now forming. After first 3 months, now but first 3 months, so if you don't come for ANC within the first 3 months, it's too late. Folic acid, all of you here, my young ladies, should be on folic acid. Those who are on folic acid, please give me a wave. Folic acid, give me a wave. Sister, you are not on folic acid. Sister. Why are you supposed to be on folic acid? You're supposed to be on folic acid because it also prevents another congenital abnormality called neural tube defect. It's prevented by simple folic acid. But one folic acid before you get pregnant, it may be too late because time I will say when you know organogenesis, or the time that the body is forming, so that is why we encourage mothers to attend the antenatal clinics as soon as they know that they are pregnant, and to even be on folic acid once they are teenagers. And then the third way of preventing some of these congenital abnormalities has to do with avoiding environmental pollutants. Certain fish, unfortunately, get a lot of pollutants in them. And if you take it whilst you are pregnant, you may have some babies with abnormalities. Also, cat's feces. If you come in contact with cat's feces within the first trimester, within the first 3 months of your pregnancy, likely say obewa not nitino ketwa, because when you're a problem before cat's toilets now buy into contact with the mother. As I end, what do children with congenital abnormalities need? We need support in terms of occupational therapy, speech therapist, a robust health system. For instance, those who have congenital heart diseases will need heart surgery. Those who are missing limbs will need prosthetic limbs. We need support for the parents in terms of finances, in terms of emotional support, social support. And we also need a very robust social welfare system and a robust healthcare system. In conclusion, congenital abnormalities are preventable. Some congenital abnormalities, are preventable. Let's prevent them. Some of them, like we said, we don't know what brings them. But those that we know what brings them, what causes them, let us prevent. Those that are not preventable, let us help these children survive and thrive. Thank you very much.
Say your corner na ajamai ho.
What is in Kusu? Again, it's an Kusu. Yes, when you soon. Okay. Not at more. Some area, oh my God, in my head. The man, only Papa, it's no only goes. You won't set free education also. A family is that. Indeed, my hour. More to now make a selection. Sooner, money, now, I see when it's going to pour my input every day. And myself, a man and one is seven. None of them, mamma. Bella, a man's young goes to now. Now, who will say, who was the few on my 20 schools? Very in school. Walking up in my way. Now, it's and someone in that country, Doctor, I live like a penny now. In the lesson, Mama, that is young papa. School, I need papa. Yeah, and then you get one we are waiting for you. Something, if you know, which is, it cannot be a problem, which only one time. It's a all. It is some Madame woman. The doctors have been put inside. Madame would be a natural. Or not to Uchania, only a penny now. Say, oh, Musua, if you are now, President Madame, and then I go on a yellow. Who very school, who will put you like a say, we need to know a few hours. If you put your mom, say, come on, you marry. Who be a better than crowd, we wish to our wife. Who could be about my look at? If you just from some weekend, when you say, idea in young said, when they are like that, when they are busy, then yes, we have now. And you see, I'm sure I'm more than now, that's when you keep about. I don't have a black guy, and sure.
The battles are a dear friend. Oh, Henry Yuri. Now, yes, I think finish us. And I even free what Henry so. As I saw Martin, I say, the Kunyas Wayash. Now, or more boy, and not your presenting. Nana, did you find your toss? Or Henry. I will know a year or two for a couple. Your father is a professor, and I know a brat or brat. If I saw your two star Eddie, I'm from Mensa, so we'll have no one there. I see Frank Mensa. Frank Mensa, if I saw Frank Mensa, I will have a better Mensa when I ate it. If I shall fight also, you want to stop by my year. Right, also, our hand. Right, also, our hand. Right, also, our hand. All right. Right, our hand on the kayak. Right, when you have cancer, you heard that which I never told him. And then moving on, says a kayak, and you see, but what they I was a documentary in say no apprentice also. After say you come Nasem no any or how now one no impact. You can't say you be in every side of how no and a reality na eba besi e wo ehai. It's random kakra e mayen. I check change na no ne die. You best one I was checks no so no.
About
10,000 there was how my
it's a check of 10,000 and I
a check of 10,000 Ghana cedis. This is Canada or 100 million. And I had no impact. A donatee and the Ama franc for the Central Aka to say so what how and for the site. Young farmer in a presentation but now.
I idea if audience some book come a check of 10,000 Ghana cedis and yeah they know
a Frank Mensa.
Frank Mensa.
Sure.
80. Sandra Ayofia onosono ekonya challenge kakra na the nine medical recommendation and medical advice. I was say ye empapa bia ye de ebehye no na de ewu na to me amano stabilize the movement at the improve and maintaining the health. It is Sunday one also ewo ha ye de the check the at the ebemano.
Yes, sir. What checks? No more check na memo we chira han say dey ya. Ye wa na mo dey aba e amaye ye da wase. Na say Sandra dey the check no 1,000 Ghana cedis. E no ye mpaboa 1,500 Ghana cedis. E no ye mpaboa wo betimi ahye. Oba pa Sandra awofe. We have prepared. So am I? E na hemanya presentation in from.
A check of 1,500 Ghana cedis. National Investment Bank and a Noble Impact Foundation for more at the Emma Sandra.
The patron said, Edem, Ewaha, Edem Amauji, Amauga.
Okay, it's Sikano and Wapo na Noble Impact for Ecomu Yanasono. Yes, so the at the apple, it's Ben.
Oh, Casse, Noble Eddie Kane, I show Wabapim Sabri, and I feel no more, Masha Semebois, and I did Kane. The Kane, not just at the Becca Trino, and so Sebedo, so nobody was so one, just a woman who be and Sana, woman who was Tim. Yeah, that's. Me patcho say Elia wa be wo ha no ama wo so nan ayentitia Elia ma we de wadamma nana we de wadamma for your presentation my baby we find some boy in here Jo akraya wo be you go no a special child I will go school I will confirm watching
or Garden 6.
A war, a year,
Garden 6.
A hall and a school was a very a donation and a new year, a baba year, a day a man.
It's a way no a Aquarano sky, the Cocoto Tone, Hono, Bread Bay, Benchakano, the prospectors, also the Eco School. It's a young Sabe, Yadian Pana, Yesha, I did be a medical I have a as for the prospectors, I want to ask you, I don't want to hear
Nanano, Madarima, and I must say, your tones are friend, Betsy, I will not in your home. Which I be now doing when you're every time. Say, I feel so chairperson, Madarima, and shop, no man, so. Ministry of Children's, Gender, and a social welfare form by central for million central form by the you are yet to see that syndicated for million and I want to